Okay, hey everybody, my name is Jay,
How's it going? This is Harv.
and we're here from the Good Times Network, and today we're going to be reviewing Zootopia, the new 3D animated movie from Walt Disney Animation. And to start, maybe we should go over some of the people who are in the movie, like the stars. It's starring Ginnifer Goodwin as Judy Hopps, who's like the main rabbit cop in the movie. The second lead is Jason Bateman's character, who plays kind of like a con artist fox, and they kind of have to team up throughout the movie to solve a case. And I guess the other really third big player in the movie is Idris Elba. He plays kind of like the police chief, like their boss. And so do you want to like break down what the general kind of like?
Yeah. The movie is about this rabbit who grows up, and basically they live in a society where animals used to be just like the animals in our world. They used to attack each other, but it's interesting. The movie starts off of them explaining how animals were predators and they were just it was just a wild world that they lived in, just like the one we live in, the animal kingdom. But eventually they developed like humans and began to coexist and work cooperatively in giant cities. But in the outside cities, they still kind of just stick to their own. So this bunny wants to grow up and be a cop, which is just ridiculous because there has never been a rabbit cop, and that's a fact in the movie, and something that she wants to do, just break through the glass ceiling and become a cop. So she moves into the city, and she passes a police thing and everything, but she gets stopped by a lot of bias and discrimination from the police force just because she is smaller. And it's kind of an interesting contrast with the world that's going on right now with all the policing and all the videos showing up in our world. So it's an interesting theme for sure. Other parts of the movie, it goes on that she needs to solve this case.
She has like 72 hours to solve this, or 48 hours to solve a case, and if she doesn't solve the case in time, she gets kicked off the force.
Right, which is also an unfair statement. She wasn't getting any jobs, and she got this one. She has a certain amount of time to figure it out, and she recruits the help of Jason Bateman's character.
She kind of tricks him, actually.
She does. He's more of a crooked kind of guy, but
she's a criminal fox.
Yeah, she basically blackmails him into working with her to solve this mystery, and that's where the movie goes. We don't want to ruin too many things, but that is definitely the direction.
It's like starts off as an uneasy relationship, and eventually they develop a deeper friendship throughout the film.
It's also a lot about overcoming and breaking barriers.
Yeah, there's lots of like racial like overtones.
yeah, a lot of bias stuff.
Okay, so
interesting.
First and foremost, maybe we should talk about the animation.
The animation in this movie is probably the best animation I've ever seen, actually. Like I was when I went into the movie, I was expecting to compare it to Big Hero 6, which is a great animated movie, but I think this actually steps it up a little. Maybe not in the shadowing, but the animation was in certain places. I'm like, that thing looks real, like objects in the background and things, and just the way they move, it's beautifully animated.
Yeah, I think like one of the like highlights or like the standouts of this movie is well, not only the animation, but like the city, like the major set piece of the film is Zootopia, which is like the equivalent of like New York City but for these animals. And that was really well done in terms of like 3D animation. It's a really dense, populated looking city, and this movie's great in 3D. We saw it in 3D, and it's really worthwhile, I would say, to see these type of 3D animated movies in 3D, because you get a real sense of depth that you don't often get from like you don't get the same experience when you're watching like a real life movie in 3D, whereas when you watch a 3D animated film in 3D, it kind of pops more and it works really well. I thought the colors were really great. It's just a great looking movie. It's definitely like on par with some of their like Pixar stuff and things like that. So second off, maybe we should talk about a little bit about like the voice acting and the music in the movie. For the most part, it does have its own soundtrack, which was composed by a composer whose name I'm totally blanking on right now. There was like a handful of like modern pop songs that they used during like certain montages and stuff, which I'm personally not a big fan of, because I feel like whenever you use like pop songs in like Disney type movies and stuff, it kind of dates them when you try to watch them in the future, because they're like, oh yeah, that Shakira track from like 2008.
It was catchy, but yeah, Shakira's a character in the movie. She plays like a celebrity singer in the movie, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna stand up years down the road.
Yeah,
like,
so there was a few montage scenes that had like kind of more pop like modern music, which I thought
was more of the kid aspect of this movie. Like a lot of kids movies, they don't really try for effort. I think this one really had a good theme, and it actually tried to appeal to adults. I mean, even if kids didn't understand, I think it still tried to appeal to adults. But it did do certain things that were just like really corny, like a music video at the end and having stuff like that.
Yeah. But like I said, like there's only a handful of like pop songs. The rest of the movie was composed and orchestrated, so it does have like a really great soundtrack. And yeah, the voice acting was obviously on par. Jason Bateman was excellent. Jennifer Goodwin is excellent.
The casting was solid. It was
yeah, the
so
voice
well
acting is
played.
it's absolutely spectacular. You feel like they're the characters. You feel like they embody the characters really well. And I guess like the third aspect is kind of like how we feel about like the story itself, the story elements, and like we said, it's kind of like this like it's almost like a buddy cop like movie, where like these two like opposite people kind of like have to come together, and then they ultimately go on this journey and learn more about each other and learn that they have a lot in common. And yeah, so I mean it's kind of like a by the book story, but like the way it's done, it's really interesting because it takes place in this like anthropomorphic animal world. So like they have like a lot of similar things to like how we are. Like
It's engaging and relatable. I think.
Except yeah, it's done from like an animal take. Like a really funny like way they use that is there's a scene where they go to like a nudist like resort, and like since all the animals are like anthropomorphized, they're always wearing clothes. So like it was funny to see like the main characters react to seeing like animals, like wild animals, like in the nude, like they would naturally be, and like because they've also become kind of humanized, like in like the animals who live in the city, they've become like humans. So like they all wear clothes and stuff. So it was funny to see like that juxtaposition between how they become and how they naturally are, and like that like dynamic between those two.
It was. You really feel for these characters. I think when they are being discriminated against or biased, you're just like, oh, come on. Like, you can relate to things happening in our society today. And I think it just goes beyond a kid's movie. Like, every time I go see a kid's movie, I'm just like, oh, great. Like, it's just going to be the same old thing, the same formula, and it changed it up enough where it was still very interesting. I think this is definitely one of the better animated films to come out.
Yeah, there was like a handful of plot twists too that I actually didn't see coming, so I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, you usually know what's going to happen in a kid's movie and how it ends. And though, like, we kind of did, it was still an interesting ride the entire way.
There's actually one part where I thought the movie ended and it kind of kept going on past that, and I was like, oh, so there's like this twist. Yeah, it's really great. Should we score this thing up?
Yeah, might as well.
All right, how would you go first?
Okay. It's actually hard to find many things wrong with this movie. I really do try, especially with kids' movies. They're not my thing. But with saying that, I think this is a great movie. I think the acting was incredibly casted and well done, and the animation is spectacular. So I have to give this movie a solid 8.5.
Yeah, I probably also would give it an 8.5. The only reason I would take off points is because, I mean, I guess, like, there's certain elements of the story that are kind of predictable. Yeah, like, you're not going to get, like, some sort of deep, like, Da Vinci Code stuff happening.
Kids would definitely give this a higher score, but, like, 8.5 for an adult, that's a great score.
I think it's definitely worth seeing, even if you don't have kids.
We don't have kids, I'll tell you that. We're not those kind of people.
Yeah, 8.5 for both of us. If you guys want to see more reviews just like this one, be sure to keep it locked. You're already in the right place on the Good Times Network.